Superior Parish Council to order. It is now 6 o'clock for June 9th, 2021. We'll have Mr. Brad Davis to lead us in the prayer and the pledge. Mr. Davis.
Start with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Madam Clerk, initiate the roll call.
Tommy Pollard.
Here.
Michael Landry.
Here.
Brad Davis.
Here.
Lloyd Brown.
Here.
Warren Gotchison.
Here.
Natalie Broussard.
Here.
Paul Landry.
Here.
James Stronghoff.
Here.
Scott Ronsonay.
Here.
Eugene Olivier.
Here.
Brian Napier. Lady Brown.
Here.
Marty Stronghoff.
Here.
Chad Mathurin.
Here.
We have 13 members in the quorum. Moving on to public comments. Madam Clerk, I'll need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Mr. Pollard and a second by Councilman Ralston. Mr. Pollard? Mr. Pollard waves. Mr. Ralston waves. Any discussion, members? Hearing no discussion, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it and the motion carries. We're now into public comments. Madam Clerk, number one.
Comments from the general public on non-agenda items.
We did not receive any requests on any non-agenda item requests to address the council. Number two, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items. A, persons being considered for appointment to parish boards/commissions to address the council.
We do have one members. Miss Lisa Miguez is in the audience representing the Waterworks District number 3, and she is asking to be reappointed. Miss Miguez, if you can step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Lisa Miguez, 4003 Dakota Drive, New Iberia. And I'm here to request reappointment to my position on the Water Board District number 3.
Are there any questions for Miss Miguez? Miss Miguez, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We also have Mr. Frank Stokes representing the Communication District.
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to serve on the board for the last 4 years. And if you guys would have it that way, I'd love to serve for another 4 years and then retire.
Are there any questions for Mr. Stokes?
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, sir. We're not there yet.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I did talk to Ms. Miguez, who talked to Mr. Jody Swear. He will be at the June 23rd meeting. Tonight, we'll address that and ask for a table until he can be here to address the council. Let's see, I think that completes everybody. Moving on, we do have a speaker participation form from Mr. Richard Phillips. He will be addressing the council on agenda item number 99. Mr. Phillips, if you can state your name and address and step to the mic.
Richard Phillips, presently at 134 Pollard, soon to take over Smitty Landry's house. If you remember at the last meeting, I addressed about the wastewater problems that we were experiencing, and that I felt that Mother Nature had the upper hand. I just want to give you a little bit of my background. I worked for Jefferson Parish, the parish government, and I dealt with every complaint that you could imagine, from the inspectors being too hard on people meeting their permits, to wastewater problems, to Mardi Gras problems, whatever. The government can just do so much, and Mother Nature's going to do the rest. I applaud the efforts that have been tried in the past, and I know that the council, the president, and the people who work for this parish are trying their best, and the people can get frustrated when it doesn't go their way, but they just have to know that Mother Nature is going to win when it's up against the human being. And that's all I just wanted to mention. I think I have the experience of having gone through Katrina and many, many rain events. FEMA is there to help pick up the pieces, and the parish is there to try to make sure that there aren't a lot of pieces. So looks like I got a minute 19, and I'm going to leave them to you guys. I don't need them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
Sure.
Thank you for being here. Do I have a motion to go back into regular session? I have a motion by Councilman Pollard and a second by Councilman Marty Trahone. Mr. Pollard? Mr. Pollard waves. Mr. Trahone? Any discussion, members? Hearing none. Roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. We're now in regular session. Moving on to reports from finance and administrative actions. There are none. Moving on to reports from parish or other governmental agencies. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Monthly building report for the month of May 2021.
That should have been provided in your packets. Moving on to public works reports. Madam Clerk, number one.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated May 5th through 25th, 2021.
You should have received a email or within your packets. Moving on to special business. There is none. Moving on to council member announcements. Members? Mr. Paul Landry is recognized.
Yeah, I want to let everybody know the parish Park and Rec has the Willowwood and the King Joe splash pad open, and the city has the City Park and the West End splash pads open. So if the kids are looking to get around, they have a place to go. I also like to give a little shout out to the Little Brooklyn project that's going over there, where they're picking houses and they're repainting them and revitalizing the area. I really think that this is going to be good, that it's going to bring people home and want home ownership, as well as looking up the value and all that. And speaking to Miss Ann, I'm going to be stepping up with some of the paint for some of the houses, but it looks like now it is broken off to there's other people requesting, so other parts of the city should be seeing some of this revitalization and stuff. And if you go down Henry Street, you'll see a number of nice houses that, looking good and things like that. So that's another part of our parish that can help turn around, and I'd like to let those ladies know we appreciate it.
Councilman Landry yields back. Members? Hearing from no other member, moving on to the parish president announcements. Mr. Reshort, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, let's start off with Public Works. The last 2 weeks, we did some culvert cleaning in District 8, 9, 10, and 14. Culvert inspection work was done in District 3, 5, 6, and 8. Debris pickup in District 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10. Trees that was down that we had to get up in District 3 and District 13. Field drainage work in District 8, 10, and 12. Roadside drainage work in District 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, and 14. We did road patching in District 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, and 14. Field ditches, side boom in District 3, 9, and 13. We did shoulder work in District 14 and tree trimming in District 9. We also had the litter abatement program that we started back up. We did some cleaning up on Black Line Road and also Marshfield Landing. We picked up 40 bags of trash. Of course, we had the tires and the rims and the whole 9 yards to go along with it. And I'm glad to see that back. And I don't have on this here talking about the sheriff department, but the sheriff has actually gone around in the parish and doing some picking up as well. So he don't give me a list. We don't coordinate that. But I want to certainly let him know and his staff that we appreciate everything that they do, because we need all the help that we can get in this parish as far as picking up litter that people are throwing around all over this parish. House Bill 648, the broadband bill, was passed yesterday. It cleared the legislation yesterday. The only thing left for that is the governor's signature, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's going to leave a lot of room for local governments to work with providers, current providers that we have. A lot of the problems that we have with broadband, in particular in Iberia Parish, we have certain providers that may be providing or offering certain things, but the people are not getting exactly what they think they should be getting. So this is a great opportunity.
I have met with really and truthfully every provider that we have in Iberia Parish, and I think we're going to have a very good working relationship moving forward. Hurricane preparation, yesterday we had our annual hurricane preparation meeting. It was held at the Slyman. Very valuable information was given out. It was very well attended. I think we're ready for this year as far as hurricane preparation. I seen Prescott. So Press, you did a great job yesterday doing that. In attendance, we had the Sheriff Department, the City Police Department, mayors. We had the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospital. We had Roger from the National Weather Service, and the list goes on. It was very, very well attended, and that's a good thing. As far as COVID-19 for our parish, as of today, our percent positivity rate is 3.8, which is down from last week at 4.3. So our numbers are going down. If I'm not mistaken, I think we only had maybe 3 positive cases today, if I'm not mistaken. So we're doing very well with COVID. We need to continue to practice the social distancing. We need to continue to wear your mask if you feel you need to wear your mask, and wash your hands and do the things that we feel we need to do to protect ourselves. Mr. Chairman, I think that's all I got 2 more pages, but I'm gonna let that go. And
Are there any questions
stop
for the
it.
parish president, members? Hearing none, moving on to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. Madam Clerk?
Minutes, regular meeting of May 26, 2021. Summary number 88, introduced by the Clerk of the Council, a resolution authorizing the designation of the Daily Iberian as the official journal for Iberia Parish for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Summary number 89, introduced by the Parish President, a resolution amending the 2021 LCDBG fund budget in the amount of $209,600 to provide for grant revenues and expenditures for the sewer rehabilitation project. Introduced by Recreation and Play Commission, a resolution proclaiming the month of July 2021 as Park Recreation Month in Iberia Parish.
Do you have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Paul Landry and a second by Councilman Eugene Olivier. Mr. Councilman Landry, no waves. Councilman Olivier waves. Members, at this time, is anyone willing to take out from the consent agenda item before we adopt? Is there any requests? Hearing no requests, is there any discussion on the acceptance of the consent agenda item? Hearing no discussion, members, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoption. Madam Clerk, summary number 5117, introduced by the Legal Counsel.
An ordinance approving, authorizing, fixing, and imposing the optional cost provided for in Louisiana Revised Statute 40-2266.1 against every defendant who is convicted after trial, or who enters a plea of guilty or nolo contendere, or who forfeits his bond in all criminal cases prosecuted under state statutes, parish ordinances, or city ordinances in any mayor's, city, parish, or district court in the parish to be used for the necessary expenses of the Acadiana Criminalistics Laboratory and the Acadiana Criminalistics Laboratory Commission, providing for the effective date thereof and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
Do I have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Marty Trahan and a second by Councilman Michael Landry. Mr. Trahan. Mr. Trahan waves. Mr. Landry. Mr. Landry waves. Is there any discussion, members? Anything from legal? We're all good? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 5118, introduced by Scott Rawsonay from District 9. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance authorizing the installation of no dumping signs on A. Rodrigue Road and B. Galbert Road located in District 9.
Do I have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Rawsonay and a second by Councilman James Trahan. Mr. Rawsonay.
Everybody's support on this. It's a small cost, if you ask me, for when a constituent calls you and they ask, we talk about litter abatement, to show that we are actually doing something. You talk about, here we are in front of TV, we're talking about the litter abatement started, the sheriff's helping out. I personally picked up trash. I have the luxury of living on a four-way stop. Don't ever live there. The trash comes here and it communicates. It's like its own little growing pad, I guess. But, I find it's a small cost just to show that we are doing something. I get beat up a lot about the roads. Y'all not doing anything. You're not doing it. It's a small cost to show we are actually trying to do something positive.
and I'd appreciate y'all's support.
Councilman Rossini yields. Councilman Trahan is recognized. Councilman Trahan raised. Any discussion, members? Councilman Michael Landry is recognized.
I'm behind this 100%, and I'm gonna tell you, the citizens gonna have to get behind it, because the sign only gonna do so much. If it's not enforced, the sign ain't worth nothing. But I support it 100%.
Councilman Landry yields back. Any other discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call vote. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 5119, introduced by the Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance approving a conditional use permit to allow for the opening of a commercial dirt pit in an A1 agricultural zoning district located at the intersection of Highway 90 East and Patchouville Road, located in District 10, all as reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
Do I have a motion, members? Have a motion by Councilman Olivier and a second by Councilman Marty Trahan. Councilman Olivier? Councilman Olivier waves. Councilman Trahan? Councilman Trahan waves. Reed, can you step to the podium and tell us a little bit about it, please?
Okay, so the applicant here already has a dirt pit in the area. It's expired. They've excavated all the dirt they can. They've done a great job. I've had no complaints about it. They want to open another dirt pit. So this area is near the intersection of Highway 90 and Patchouville Road. It's about 6 acres. It's sugarcane fields. There's no other real neighbors. They have access to the property. They have drainage. There's really no reason why it shouldn't be passed.
Are there any questions for Mr. Boudreau? Thank you, Reed. Thank you for being here. Hearing no other discussion, roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 5120, introduced by the Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance approving a conditional use permit to allow for the opening of an Ark of Acadiana group home in an R2 mixed residential zoning district located at 310 Central Avenue, located in District 11, all as reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
Do I have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Paul Landry and a second by Councilman Marty Trahan. Mr. Landry? Mr. Landry waves. Councilman Trahan? Councilman Trahan waves. Mr. Boudreau?
Here's Ark of Acadiana. They have a big facility on Central Avenue. One of the buildings in their complex is a group home. The existing group home is outdated, and they're looking to improve it. Their architect says that improving the existing one is going to be more expensive than just building a new one. So here we are. They're building a new group home. It's in an R2 neighborhood, which the ordinance says is allowed with a conditional use permit. We met. There was one neighbor had a question about drainage. He said that he had already received that complaint, met with his contractor on site. They made a plan, and the neighbor was satisfied. So.
Are there any questions for Mr. Boudreau, members? Reed, you're doing a fine job, man. Thank you. I don't want to say that publicly. You're really doing a good job. The department's come a long ways. All right, hearing no other discussion, members, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption. Summary number 91, introduced by the Clerk of the Council. Madam Clerk.
A resolution appointing Mr. Rayward Freeman Jr. to the Iberia Parish Levee, Hurricane, and Conservation District, representing Iberia Parish, for a 4-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Mr. Rayward Freeman Jr., whose term expires July 1st, 2021.
Do I have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Marty Trahan, a second by Councilman Scott Rossini. Mr. Trahan? Mr. Trahan waves. Mr. Rossini? Mr. Rossini waves. Just for the record, members, Mr. Freeman addressed the council on 5/26/21. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 92, introduced by the Clerk of the Council. Madam Clerk.
A resolution appointing one member to the Waterworks District Number 3 Board for a 5-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Ms. Lisa Miguez, whose term expires August 5th, 2021. Appointment applications received from A, Ms. Lisa Miguez, and B, Mr. Jody Sweer.
Before I take a motion, members, just to remind you that Mr. Sweer has not addressed the council, so therefore it'd be a default, and Ms. Miguez will be appointed to the position. but I'll still have a motion. Motion by Mr. Marty Trahon, second by Councilman Mathurin. Mr. Trahon? Mr. Trahon waives. Mr. Mathurin? Mr. Mathurin waives. Any discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary 93, introduced by the clerk of the council. Madam Clerk?
A resolution appointing one member to the Waterworks District Number 3 Board for a 5-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Mr. Jody Sweer, whose term expires August 5th, 2021. Appointment applications received from A, Ms. Lisa Miguez, and B, Mr. Jody Sweer.
Just for the record, before I take that, just for the record, Ms. Miguez was appointed to the last position. Therefore, it leaves just Mr. Jody Swear. I'll take the motion from Mr. Paul Trahon,
Second.
Mr. Paul Landry, and a second by Councilwoman Broussard. Mr. Landry?
I'd like to go ahead and put a table on this to a later date that I think you know about.
Okay.
23rd.
Before we take that, is there any discussion on this current agenda item before we take the substitute to table? Hearing no discussion, I have a substitute motion by Mr. Landry
Let's go with this.
and a second by Councilwoman Broussard to table until our next meeting on June 23rd. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, members, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Man, that didn't sound like everybody said aye. Okay. No opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 94, introduced by the clerk of the council. Madam Clerk?
A resolution appointing one member to the Iberia Parish Communications District, representing an at-large position for a 4-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Mr. Frank Stoltz, whose term expires August 28th, 2021. Appointment applications received from A, Mr. Frank Stoltz, and B, Mr. Manny Mendoza.
Just for the record, members, both of them have addressed the council. Mr. Mendoza on 526, and of course, tonight, Mr. Stoltz has addressed us. So I ask you to get a motion first, obviously. Is there a motion? Move. Motion by Councilman Trahon.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Broussard. Councilman Trahon? Councilwoman Broussard?
Waive.
All right, members, I'd ask you to get your district number pads and record your vote.
Need a district.
District 1, Stoltz. District 2, Stoltz. District 3, Stoltz. District 4, Stoltz. District 5, Stoltz. District 6, Stokes. District 7, Stoltz. District 8, Stoltz. District 9, Stoltz. District 10, Stoltz. District 11 is absent. District 12, Stoltz. District 13, Stoltz. And District 14, Stoltz.
13 and none.
We have 13 votes for Stoltz and 0 for Mendoza. Mr. Stoltz, congratulations. You're elected back for another term. Moving on to summary number 95, introduced by Marty Trahon of District 13. Madam Clerk?
A resolution requesting the administration to secure engineering quotes for the following. 1, improvements to drainage areas for all outlets of Hazard Road, Armico Road, and O'Donnell Road. And 2, diverting the overflow of the water on the west end of New Iberia towards Spanish Lake.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Marty Trahon, second by Councilman Paul Landry. Mr. Trone?
I would like to take this time to request, like, we get a cost on what it would take, and I would like to move this to,
I think it might be. You good. Mr. Trone, just before you make a substitute motion, let me just ask the council, is there any discussion on the main motion before we take up any substitution? Hearing none, Mr. Trone?
okay. I'd like to make a substitute to move it to the July 13th meeting. I will not be here on June 23rd for medical reasons, running tests out of state. So I would like this to be pushed back to July 13th meeting.
So you're tabling to the July 13th meeting, or are you asking the administration to
No,
come back?
I want to pass it tonight,
Okay,
but I want the update to come on July.
so you're asking to amend the acts to include in the substitution that the administration come back with a plan or assessment by July 13th meeting?
Yeah, assessment.
Okay, is that
Yeah,
okay
for
with
a
the
quote.
second?
Yeah, for a quote. To get with the engineering form.
Mr. Landry, is that okay with you? Sure. Any discussion on that, members, before we adopt it? Hearing no discussion. Mr. Brown, I'm sorry, say again, Lane, hold on 1 second, Mr. Brown.
What is
It'd
he?
be the 14th.
July
July-
14th meeting, I apologize. July 14th meeting.
14.
Mr. Brown, did you,
Okay, that's
You have
what
the
I
floor,
was
Mr.
gonna
Brown.
say, was July the 14th.
14th, okay. Okay. It was okay by the second, Mr. Landry. Any other discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 96, introduced by Marty Trahan of District 13. Madam Clerk?
A resolution requesting the administration to provide an update of engineering services provided for Bayou Park Purdue Part A channel as budgeted by resolution number 2017-121, which provided funding for engineering and related services for proposed draining improvements.
Do I have a motion?
Move.
Motion by Councilman Marty Trahan. Do I second? Second by Councilman Michael Landry. Mr. Trahan.
Yes. I'm also requesting that the administration come with a cost for the proposed drainage, and also to come back with the update on July 14th. And also, we need these costs so we can go look for money. We don't have money in the Public Works budget to do this, okay? We have to go look for some money to do this, okay? Well, I put them separately so he can go get a cost, so we can go look for some money at the state level or a watershed initiative, wherever we can go find money. Me and Larry talked. We need to go look for money to do these projects. And how else I want to say it? If it was intended, I had some phone calls that Larry wasn't doing his job, okay? We don't have no money to do this, y'all, in our budget, okay? So we got to go look for money, okay? I talked with Larry. We're going to get it with our delegation from Baton Rouge, and we're going to see where we can get some money. Watershed Initiative, wherever we can go get some money. That's why I put them individually, so we can go and, I'll say, we can get money for this one. We're going to target each one to where we can get these deals done. And Larry, you got the map? Can you show the map?
Yeah, we got that in committee.
Explain the map.
Yeah, committee.
Okay, so that's,
Before I take that substitute motion, Mr. Trahan, let me just make sure everything's okay with the second. Mr. Landry, you recognized?
I don't have no problem with that, but when we got those quotes in 2017, they had what approximate what it would cost us. I know things has changed. I mean,
I
but
want to
we-
come with a good hard number.
One
is what I
second,
want.
Mr. Trahan. Mr. Landry.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, because when the engineers gave us all this, that was a hard number they gave us. Yeah, I remember, I know it may have gone up, because I know that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but
Okay.
whatever, but I'm good with the second, what he said.
Mr. Landry yields back. Mr. Paul Landry's recognized. Councilman?
Thank you, Mr. Drawhome. I believe the money that we got for that was about 5 million, Larry, but the problem was the matching that we,
Yeah, this, if I can.
Certainly.
We're really confusing a whole lot of stuff here. When he's talking about Park Purdue Part A, Park Purdue Part B.
No, it's Parish.
Park Purdue. When you're talking about.
Larry, turn the mic to you so he can.
When you're talking about, is it on? Yeah. When you're talking about the funding of the $5.3 million for Park Purdue, that's the whole Park Purdue, the funding that's coming from APC. That actually, the money, actually I'm saying APC is really from the governor. And I'm looking, he have that on a different resolution. I think that resolution is number 100. And I'm explaining to you in a little bit where we're at with that from the last meeting we had. At the meeting that we had 2 weeks ago, I explained what we did in parish government in 2017 and 18 and whenever, from all of these different channels that we have in Iberia Parish. I don't have the paperwork in front of me. I talked to you guys in detail 2 weeks ago on the amount of footage and miles that we actually did as far as cleaning up what we were going to actually outsource. And the map that I gave you last week is color-coded. So it's telling you in yellow the work was completed. It's telling you what was done in-house. It's telling you in red what needs to be outsourced, this, that, and the other. And I have no problem presenting that again to you at the meeting, I think on the 14th of July. In fact, I think I may have spoken to Natalie and said, and you too, maybe Paul, a few of the council members, and said, you know what? I think maybe the best thing to do is do a PowerPoint presentation and show everything as far as what it is that we're doing. I take great offense when someone said that I'm not doing my job when it comes to drainage, because if you take a look at what I presented to you last week, we have done 133 miles of main channel. I'm going on memory right now of cleaning main channels. We have done, I don't have the actual, roadside ditches that we've done and all of this stuff. So this is something that we track, and we track it very serious, because I happen to have two good guys that since I've been here, been the public works director, and the beauty about this here is they actually worked all this equipment themselves. So when we put someone on a channel to clean a channel that we know are going to take 5 hours, it don't take the people to clean that channel 10 hours, because they know what it is that they're doing. So, but I do appreciate the fact that we're saying that there are no funding to do some of the things. Now, some of the projects that we wanted to outsource back in 2018, perhaps 19, we don't have the funds to do it. If I'm not mistaken right now, and in fact, Marty was in my office today, and I spoke to Kim and tried to find out how much money we have in drainage to where we could spend. And, so we have close to $1 million. The problem is we can't spend that money right now because we're getting ready to start budgeting right about very soon. We're actually working on budget right now. And we need to find out what that budget is going to be for next year that's coming through Public Works, and then maybe what we can outsource. But Marty is correct. We are definitely looking at doing things from grants. Today I met with Eugene Olivier, who actually worked, as you guys know, very close with NACO, and he came into my office and he presented a deal to me that I already spoke to Finstamaker about. And y'all may have remembered the Tiger Grant that we used to that was out there quite some time ago. Well, the Tiger Grant is gone. Right now they have the RISE grant. So I contacted Finstamaker and told them, so tomorrow morning we're going to be looking at some things on the RISE grant. And so on. So yes, we are looking for funds. When you look at Iberia Parish and the dollars that we have in Iberia Parish, a little bit more than 30% of the money that we have in Iberia Parish is grant dollars. So we do have tax dollars that we pay for dedicated things that we have. But when you look at the projects that's going on in Iberia Parish, for most part, it's all grant dollars. And in saying that, I may have gotten off a little bit, but Part Purdue A, Part Purdue B is for the most part the same thing. So we'll give you an update on the 14th. What I more than likely will do if I don't do a PowerPoint presentation is have Finstamaker come out here and let them give you guys a complete update on everything that's taking place, because they're not only the company that did this work, they're the company that's actually going to be working the $5.3 million deal, trying to find the retention and detention ponds for us as well.
Good.
Okay?
Councilman Landry, does that satisfy your question? Sir. Councilman Landry waves, yields back. Anyone else? Mr. Trahan, did you want to go ahead and make your substitution?
Yeah.
You want him to go get a cost analysis and come back to the council on July 14th, is that correct? Is that okay with Councilman Michael Landry? Any other discussions on the substitute motion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 97, introduced by Marty Trahan, District 13. Madam Clerk.
A resolution requesting the administration to provide an update of engineering services provided for Bayou Park Purdue Part B channel as budgeted by resolution number 2017-121, which provided funding for engineering and related services for proposed drainage improvements.
Do I have a motion, members? Motion by Councilman Marty Trahan. Second by Councilman Mathurin. Mr. Trahan.
I reserve my right to speak to Larry.
do the exact same thing, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, Mr. Trahan waves.
Yeah.
Mr. Mathurin? We'll get to that. Did y'all want to say something before we do that to open it up?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Substitute.
Okay. Mr. Trahan waves. Mr. Richard?
I'm going to do the exact same thing for that, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to come back and present, like I said, give you some information on all of these projects.
Any discussions, members? On
Again, it could be through PowerPoint, or it could just be the engineering company themselves.
Okay. Any discussion on the main motion, members? Hearing none, the substitute motion, Mr. Trahan?
To July 13th?
The 14th.
14th.
To ask the administration
And-
to come back with a report of a cost analysis.
Yes.
July 14th. Is it okay with the second, Mr. Trahan? Mr. Mathurin, I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion, members, on the substitute motion? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Summary number 98, introduced by Marty Trahan of District 13. Madam Clerk.
A resolution requesting the administration to provide an update of engineering services provided for Norris Canal as budgeted by resolution number 2017-121, which provided funding for engineering and related services for proposed drainage improvements.
Do I have a motion, members? Motion by Councilman Marty Trahan. Second by Councilman Michael Landry. Mr. Trahan?
Same as the one before.
You'll reserve the right for
Yeah.
second. Councilman Landry? Councilman Landry waves. Members, any discussion on the main motion? Hearing none, Councilman Trahan on the substitute motion.
Yeah. Move to July 14th.
Asking for a cost analysis by July 14th. Is that okay with the second? Okay with Mr. Landry. Any discussion on the substitute motion, members? Hearing none. Roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition. The ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 99, introduced by Marty Trahan of District 13. Madam Clerk.
A resolution requesting the administration to provide an update of engineering services provided for Petitance as budgeted by resolution number 2017-121, which provided funding for engineering and related services for proposed drainage improvements.
Do I have a motion, members? Motion by Councilman Marty Trahan. Do I second? Second by Councilman Rossonnet. Mr. Trahan?
Yeah, like,
Reserve the right for
to make-
second. Waived by Mr. Rossonnet. Is there any discussion on the main motion? Hearing none. Mr. Trahan on the substitute.
Move to cost analysis and meeting to July 14th.
Councilman Trahan asks for a substitute motion for a cost analysis from the administration by July 14th. Is that okay with the second?
Let me ask a question.
You want to,
Yeah. Larry,
Mr. Trahan?
Yes.
on Bayou Petitance, could we do some of that work ourselves?
Can we do some of that ourselves?
Yeah.
We-
Me and Warren are going, probably within the next couple of weeks, are going right up Armico in Petitance
Okay.
to see exactly. Could we do some of that?
I would think not.
If their
Okay.
trees are down, we wouldn't be able to get those trees out.
I would think not.
Okay.
I would think not, to be honest.
Because I know,
with you.
I think
It's
when we
at
talked in
El
committee.
Romero Road
Right.
and Valerie
There
Road.
may be a few isolated areas, if you find something like that, we'll definitely ask Dexter,
Okay.
to bring his crew out there, or for Dexter to go and take a look at it.
Ronnie asked about that off of Valerie Road, both ways.
Right, yes.
We plan to get those.
That,
out because
you can
it's
have them.
Easy access for it.
Right.
But-
And
Okay, that's what I
narrow.
thought.
So when you're gonna get around, Highway 14 going south, it's too wide, even with long reach, you're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
clean anything.
If you find anything at all that you think, I mean, y'all can make an assessment that you think we can do.
Well, we're
of
gonna
course.
take pictures when we
Yeah.
go.
Pictures and
Yeah.
stuff.
Look,
Okay.
whatever we can do in-house, we're gonna have to do it in-house,
Yeah.
because the
Okay.
expenses.
I just thought
is
right
just
there
too
was,
much.
it was easy
What was the
reach.
dollar amount we thought we did for cleaning up when we had to do it in-house?
Any discussion on the substitute motion? Hearing none, roll call members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 99, introduced by
right.
Marty Trahan of District 13. Madam Clerk?
We just did that one.
Yeah.
Oh, summary number 100, introduced by Marty Trahan of District 13. Madam Clerk?
A resolution requesting the administration to provide an update on the status of a retention pond for Park Purdue.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Marty Trahan. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Mathurin. Councilman Trahan?
I can give you an update on that one.
Yeah.
And then you can put this one to bed. The additional model and benefit cost analysis for Bayou Park Purdue Detention Pond project was completed over 10 months ago by both Fence to Maker and Quality Engineering and submitted to GOSEP and FEMA on schedule. We've been waiting for this long to finally receive this letter that's in my hand right now from FEMA, authorizing the parish to proceed with Phase 1, which is the engineering design and the right-of-way of the acquisition phase. Upon completion and submission to GOSEP for approval, this project will then proceed to Phase 2, which is the construction portion of the project. Now, we know how long FEMA, I don't know how long it's going to take for FEMA to approve it. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. When Fence to Maker complete this here. But what I'll tell you is that we're going to get Fence to Maker to complete the project as planned, and we're going to buy the necessary right-of-way, and the parish is going to use every resource that we have at our disposal to exercise or expedite the review of Phase 1 deliverables. And just so you know, I've been in direct communication with Congressman Higgins' office and his staff to express my frustration with the delay in this process, with this project, through no fault of Fence to Maker, QES, or Iberia Parish. I've been working with our delegation. I'm going to continue to work with our delegation to move this thing along as quickly as possible. But again, we completed our part over 10 months ago, and we got this week.
Good.
So a lot took place, with GOSEP and with FEMA that local government, state government have absolutely no control over. So hopefully that when we finish, or when Fence to Maker finish and QS finish the part that we're getting ready to do, things move a little bit quicker. And I've had some people talk to me in reference to Park Purdue, the portion that's being done in the Lafayette Parish, in the Youngsville area. And the difference that took place there is when they received the $5 million to do that part of Park Purdue, it was a shovel-ready project. And they had funds, so they were able to start. And I think I may have told you guys all of this a week before last, and if I did, I certainly don't want to get back into it because we talked quite extensively 2 weeks ago. So to make a long story short, Marty, we have what we need as far as Park Purdue and the detention ponds, and there's nothing else for me to update you with 2 weeks ago.
Councilman Trahan, does that satisfy your request?
Yes.
Councilman Mathurin?
Okay, the update you just gave us on this, doesn't that kind of cover Park Purdue A and B?
A
Because
lot
it's all
of it.
tied in
That's
together?
what I was trying to tell you, yeah.
I
Really
mean,
and truthfully.
the money, the $5 million that's allocated, it all goes towards the.
It's all going through the same thing.
So I think that pretty much covers.
So really and truthfully, when you're looking at what's going on with resolution number 96 and 97, it really and truthfully don't make a whole lot of sense for me to try to get a company to come back here and start explaining to you what I just explained to you.
Yeah, we have, there's money, there's a grant that's been awarded, it's just a
Right.
matter of getting the money.
It's a matter of getting the money and doing the project.
Councilman Mathurin, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
So it's up to you, Marty, if I can. It's up to you, Marty. If you want me to get the guys to come back and do 96 and 97, I'll be more than happy to do it. But I don't see what you're going to get from it.
Is there any other discussion, members, before we go to delete this item?
Do we need any money to do it?
Hearing no discussion, Mr.
It's
Trahan?
there. We hold it. do we need any money? Do we need to go look for some money to complete that
You have the
project? Or
five-
it's all gonna be done?
Yes,
The
you have the
retention
5 point-
ponds are done, the
Right.
canal's gonna be done.
Right, and if there's anything different, I'll tell you, and then we'll come back and we'll present, but there's nothing that I can see right now that we need to, that's Park Purdue. Park Purdue is Park Purdue.
Okay,
Councilman Trahan?
motion to delete.
Councilman Trahan has a motion to delete. Is it okay with the second? Motion to delete is on the floor. Is there any discussion on the deletion? Hearing none. Roll call members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it and the motion carries. Moving on to summary number 101, introduced by the clerk of the council. Madam Clerk?
A resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with the Daily Iberian for the publication of classified advertisements for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, at a cost of $9.89 per column inch.
Do you have a motion? I have a motion by Councilman Lloyd Brown, second by Councilman Michael Landry. Councilman Brown? Councilman Landry? Any discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 102, introduced by the clerk of the council. Madam Clerk?
A resolution authorizing travel expenses for members of the Iberia Parish Council to attend the 2021 NACO Annual Conference from July 9th through 12th, 2021 in Prince George County, Maryland, at a total cost to the parish of $2,500 per attendee.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Councilman Olivier, second by Councilmember Brown. Councilman Olivier?
I'd like to make a substitute motion because Lady Brown would like to attend the meeting as well.
Before you do that, Mr. Olivier, can we just have discussion on the main motion first and then I'll entertain a second?
Sure.
A substitute. Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown waves. Any discussion, members, on the main motion? Hearing none, I think there is a substitute motion by Mr. Olivier.
I'd like the motion to read after the $2,500. It will read divided between two attendees, which will be $1,250 each. And we'll pay the balance at our own.
There's a substitute motion on the floor by Mr. Olivier. Is it okay with the second? Mr. Brown seconds it. Now the discussion's on the substitute motion. Mr. Olivier?
Good, wait.
Anyone else on the substitute motion?
I got a question.
Mr. Monterey?
So it's basically $12.50 per attendee instead?
Yes.
Okay. Done, thank you.
Councilman, before you do that, I'd ask that you make sure that it's only between those two. It's not per attendee because we only have an amount of 3,000 in the budget.
So
Yeah, I'm taking out per attendee, and substitute that divided between two attendees.
All right. Any discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, Laney, in opposition, we have Councilman Rossini, Councilman Paul Landry, Councilwoman Broussard, Councilman Goshenson, Councilman Davis, Councilman Trahan, James Trahan. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nays. And then in affirmative, we have Councilman Brown, Councilman Pollard, Councilman Michael Landry, Councilman Marty Trahan. Chad, you were Councilman Mathurin, Councilman Olivier, and then Councilwoman Brown. If I'm doing that right, that's 7 yeas, 6 nays. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes.
That motion fails. Back to the main motion. Any discussion on the main motion? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, in affirmative, we have Councilman Brown, Councilman Pollard, Councilman Michael Landry, Councilman Marty Trahan, Councilman Olivier, Councilwoman Brown. That's 6 in favor, correct? Those opposed? I have Councilman Rossini, Councilman Paul Landry, Councilwoman Broussard, Councilman Goshenson, Councilman Davis, Councilman James Trahan, Councilman Mathurin. Wow, that's 8 against, is that right? 7 against. So 6 yeas and 7 nays, and the motion fails. All right. I do have a personal privilege tonight by, I'm sorry, Mr. Mathurin. Mr. Tron, it's been a long night so far.
Yeah. I'd like a motion to reconsider Resolution 96 and 97.
Mr. Tron, you were not on the deciding side of that.
96 and 97.
Oh, everybody was. You're right. All right. I'm thinking about this one. Okay. I apologize to those here, and this is okay. Councilman Trahan is asking for reconsideration on summary 96. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilman Mathurin. Is there any discussion on the reconsideration? Hearing none, those
But
of
I have
Councilwoman Broussard on reconsideration. Just on reconsideration, Councilwoman.
Are you asking for reconsideration so you can delete it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilwoman yields back. Any other discussion on the reconsideration? Hearing none, those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, summary number 96 is reconsidered. I'll need a motion on summary 96.
Motion to delete.
Motion by Councilman Marty Tron, a second by Councilman Mathurin. Is there any discussion on this item? There's a substitute motion on the floor by Mr. Trahan.
From the way I'm understanding, this summary 96 is covered by summary number 100, to be correct? Correct. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, motion to delete. Thank you.
Councilman Trahan has asked for a motion to lay upon the table indefinitely. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Second by Mr. Trahan. Motion by Mr. Trahan, second by Mr. Mathurin. Any discussion on the deletion? Hearing none, those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Is there a motion to reconsider number 97 also?
Yes.
There's a motion on the floor by Mr. Marty Trahan to reconsider. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Mathurin.
Yeah,
Any discussion on the reconsideration? Hearing none.
motion to delete, covered by.
We have to vote on reconsideration. Hold on one second, Mr. Mathurin. I messed up enough. The reconsideration, hearing no opposition, hearing no discussion, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing no opposition, the ayes have it. And now summary number 97 is reconsidered. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion to delete.
Motion by Mr. Trahan, Marty Trahan. Second by Mr. Mathurin. Is there any discussion on the main agenda item? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor by Councilman Marty Trahan to delete. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Mathurin. Is there any discussion on the deletion? Hearing no discussion on the deletion, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. You got your money out of me tonight, Mr. Trahan. I do have a personal privilege by Mr. Brad Davis on the floor. Without objection, Mr. Davis, you recognized?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Wanted to let, as most of you know, this will be my last meeting on the Iberia Parish Council. I'll be resigning from the council. I'll relocating to the North Louisiana area. Just want to say thanks to everybody who supported me throughout the campaign and, my first year on the council. I could tell you I am disappointed on having to give up this position. It was a pleasure working with Mr. Richard and, the rest of the council members. I really can't thank everybody enough for just the support and, kind of coaching me along the first year here. But there was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up, and, so we're going to have to move forward with it. But again, I appreciate everybody support, and good luck to everybody.
Good. Without objection, members, I give the opportunity to anyone that wants to make a comment to Mr. Davis for the record. Anyone? Mr. Richard.
It was great working with you. I certainly going to miss you, and I think I told you when I found out what you was doing, and I was just really getting comfortable starting to call and talk to you. I think you were doing a very, very, very good job, and I think you had a long way in Iberia Parish government.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a very sharp man. I would like to say young man because I'm a couple of days older than you, and I think you have a very bright future. So no matter where you're going to go, what you're going to do, you're going to be well. You're going to do very well. Just that we hate losing you to Iberia Parish.
Thank you.
But if I can ever help you, let me know.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Anyone else? Mr. Tron.
Mr. Brad, it was a pleasure serving with you, sir. Get to know you and get to know you a little better than I did before. And like I say, we're going to miss you.
Well, thank you.
Good luck with your new endeavors, and I know family's always first, and you got to think about what's good for your family and for yourself. So I appreciate you stepping down and going to do what you got to do for your family. And fill your spot up for you, buddy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Tron. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Mr. Marty Tron.
I want to make sure he runs up there, so I'll sponsor him up there to run so he don't drain on us.
Keep your water to yourself.
Yeah, keep your water.
Thank you, Mr. Tron. Anyone else? Ms. Broussard, Councilwoman Broussard.
Brad, tonight's very bittersweet. You know, I appreciate what you're doing for your family, but what Iberia Parish is losing, I don't think everybody sees it as much as we do. You came in here, you dove in, you started assisting us, working with us, and it's been quite a pleasure to not only be your colleague, but to become your friend through all of this. So Iberia Parish is losing a great council member. I'm losing a friend, but I'm so happy for your family, for the opportunity. So good luck and keep in touch.
Thank you, thank you,
Anyone else?
appreciate it.
Hearing none. I gotta say something, man. I can't sit here and not say something for my boy Davis here.
Well, I hope you call me
Brad,
by
I
the
knew
right
the
name.
night we stood here for, was it well over 70 votes? And the 12 o'clock hour, it was, just to see you turn red, that was, that, I'm gonna miss that a lot, just facial expressions, us being here in the trenches together. We knowing we have very little, but we all pull together even though we have some differences. Our government, our form of government here has come a long ways, and it's been a pleasure. I can't say that Iberia Parish government is gonna be the same without you. So thank you for your service and thank you, family.
I appreciate
ultimately.
it, appreciate
Good.
it, thank you.
All right, on adjournment, do I have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Councilwoman Broussard and a second by Councilman Rawson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none. The ayes have it, and the motion to adjourn has passed.
Let's go.